Philippine Airlines company background, holding business that goes by the name PHIL Holdings Incorporation. PHIL is involving in the acquisition, subscription, acquiring, keeping, utilizing, management, development, as well the sale, transfer, exchange or disposal or real and personal property, including stocks, promissory notes, bills of exchange, and other domestic securities of foreign company doing activities related to the aviation industry. The Philippine Airlines is the country national airline and provides messenger and foreign transportation service between the Philippines and a number of foreign locations. PAL operation flights of locations but inside the country and throughout the world. Before the pandemic, the route network of PAL encompasses around 30 locations in the Philippines and more than 40 destinations outside the country.
The vision statement of the Philippine Airlines is to be the airline of choice in all markets we serve, to be the source of pride for Filipinos everywhere. With this, it can be inferred the false vision is to be the leading airline in the Philippine market. They also ought to give quality services as they carry the country's name and pride everywhere in the world. In connection with this, their mission is to deliver a safe, reliable, efficient, and pleasant travel experience exceeding passenger expectations, to provide a satisfying career to our employees and adequate returns to stockholders, to present the best of the Philippines, the best of Filipino to the world. PAL has a specific and intricate regards in travel experience service. They want to exceed customer expectations by providing a safe, dependable, quick, and enjoyable travel experience to offer our employees a rewarding job while also providing acceptable returns to stockholders.
C. External analysis. Opportunities. Increased vaccination rates due to reopening of the tourism industry. Philippines has begun reopening its borders after 2-year shutdown. Travelers' renewed desire to get out house help airlines recap some of the losses. As a result, airlines and wrapping up their marketing efforts is hopes of luring customers back on the road. Next is health and safety precaution and becoming more important to tourists. This could be a great opportunity for PAL since they are recognized for their high standards of cleanliness and safety. People will pick a service if they see tangible proof that it adheres to all safety standards. Next is increasing use of technology in delivery and promotion of services. The airline has seen a rise in the use of new technologies to reduce the impact of the AIDS epidemic on its customer. Then the threats are COVID-19 has causes a global economic disaster. The COVID-19 pandemic has created the worst recession in a century. Many firms have gone bankrupt and many individuals have lost their jobs as a result. Travel has taken a backseat to making ends meet for millions of people who are struggle to make ends meet. Next is there will be less travel for the COVID-19. It was at this point that COVID prevented the regular functioning of the transportation modes. People health needs and travel apprehension remain resulting in a smaller market for the sector. Next is entry into other nations is not permitted. Due to large number of instances, certain countries are still prohibited from entering particular locations. Their airlines are devastated by this since they are unable to provide flights to these places, which reduce their ability to make money and pay their losses. Under the external analysis, we have Porter's 5 forces, which we can determine the industry competitive advantages using the 5 competitive forces approach. It might have a high, medium, or low competitive advantage. The strength and competitive advantages of Philippine Airlines will be employed in strategy development as a result of this. This is the graph of Porter's 5 forces. We have competitive rivalry, threat of new entrants, supplier bargain power, threat of substitution, buyer bargain power. Then the new entrant, as a result of pandemic effects of the aviation business, airlines have been compelled to lay off part of this workforce. Consequently, Philippine Airlines has little competition for new entrants. The financial expenditure required to start off a new airlines and compete in the business is huge and costly. Airline firms has adapted to the new normal of flying by complying with new health procedures and regulations. Then, bargaining power of buyers. When the number of airlines exceeds the number of passengers, there is a strong dependence on a single client. For the sale of provider, there is a low to moderate risk of forward integration, and the cost of switching providers is large. Other elements demonstrate the buyer's bargaining power. Significantly, purchasers have more clout when given a wide range of alternatives to chosen from. Then a customer company is no longer heavily dependent on the sales of the provider. Next is threat of substitutes. Travel restrictions are being relaxed. New ones of being implemented. Land and marine travel are the only alternatives to air travel. Air travel remains the preferred mode of transportation for customer due to increased level of security that airlines give. Because of this, the danger of competing services of the aviation sector is with minimal. Next is bargaining power of suppliers. Supply chains bargaining leverage is essential to building an industry's competitive environment. In a competitive and profitable market, a supplier's bargaining power has a significant impact. Bargaining power can come from buyer bargaining power, the threat of replacement, and the entry of new entrants. The last is industry rivalry. Travel restrictions have been in place due to the rapid increase of COVID-19 cases throughout the globe. As travel restrictions of progressively ease, airline businesses are expected to become more competitive than ever in order to recap the losses they have suffered in terms of profits.
Organizational roles are highlighted and evaluated using this strategy formulation tool, which also provide a framework for the identification and evaluation of connections between them. The only airlines in the Philippines to have IOSA accreditations and highest safety rating 7/7 targets both business and leisure travel, is one of the top 10 airlines with the highest safety credentials for travel response to the COVID-19 pandemic by Safe Travel Barometer, has established training center for pilots and is a member of Philippine Airlines. Awarded a score of 4.0, to put it another way, the company's primary products and services are its strength, since these are the areas in which it generates its revenue. There are a number of challenges that the airline is now dealing with, chief among them being unable to compete on pricing with well-known low-cost carriers, as well as labor issues and a high small age rate. In light of this, it is clear that the company's staff and services play a critical role and may create significant setbacks. Pulse IFE matrix score of 3.04 shows that despite the firm's problems, the company's strengths are still holding up, and this implies that the company has a solid internal position.
Letter E, strategic formulation and objectives. Through increased marketing efforts, a market penetration strategy aims to expand market share of current products of services in current markets. This could including hiring more salespeople, raising advertising budgets, providing comprehensive sales promotion products, or improving public relation efforts. Large research and development costs are frequently associated with product development because customers are increasingly afraid to pay more the products and services with outstanding facilities or technology. The airline sector is constantly pursuing product service development.
First, in PAL's action plan is low fare offered. The lowest publicized fare on PAL would be determined by the date or time of booking, the validity of the ticket, the flight, and the level of service. Next is their baggage delivery. They make every effort to ensure that their customer and their luggage travel together. If there is a case of baggage mishandling, such as delay or missing baggage, they will make every effort to deliver passengers' baggage within 24 hours, going to reimburse passengers for any amount incurred to transfer a bag if that bag is lost. Third is expeditious processing of refunds. They ensure that refunds are executed once PULSE gets a complete set of relevant papers. Subject to ticket limits, a refund request will not be approved or handled until all needed documents are supplied in their entirety. Lastly, accommodation of passenger in need of special assistance. PAL provides the highest care and attention to passengers who require special assistance, particularly passengers with impairments and unaccompanied kids in accordance with PAL's policies and procedures, as well as relevant government rules and regulations.
This is the strategy map of Philippine Airlines, which shows the graphic representation of what they intend to accomplish: grow its business, get more customers, and improve its financial position. Strategy maps promote essential discussions about the future and the adjustment that our company needs to undertake in order to continue to grow and succeed in the long term.
So here you can see PAL's different objectives such as revenue growth, cost reduction, asset utilization, payment convenience, flight meal, employee retention and productivity, and improvement in relationship. It was also measured by some performance measures and with the targeted product of the said initiatives. This will provide PAL a better and more quality service as they speak true to their goals to be the leading airline in the country's aviation industry.